Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about, do women respect men who chase them? So there, first of all, let's talk about something that's really important, okay? And this is basically what my main point in this video is going to be. And that is the difference between chasing and showing interest. Because in short, do women respect men who chase them? Not very much, but it depends on the kind of chasing that's going on. Okay, so let's make it separate the two. Okay, of chasing and also just genuinely just showing interest in a woman. Okay, so chasing, in my mind, in the way that when I coach people and I talk about, chasing and all this kind of stuff, this is what I mean and what I visualize personally, and that's how it all gets integrated into my coaching, because that's the way that I see chasing. And this is it, like chasing is when you're being really needy and you're in her DMs all the time, even if she's not showing that much interest, and you're trying to make something happen and you're trying to force an outcome by messaging her and talking to her, hoping that by doing so you're going to get her more interested in you. When you notice that maybe she's backed off a little bit, you go into panic mode and you feel like you need to do something, so therefore you send her a message or you reach out to her in some way, like phone her up. Okay, that in my mind is chasing. Okay, and when a man does stuff like that, no, the woman doesn't respect him. And it could be the same for you as well. If you think about it, if a woman's ever chased you down, let's say you weren't really that interested in a woman and she just wasn't letting it go and she just kept on trying to make something happen with you, she kept trying to talk to you, kept trying to flirt with you, you lose respect for her because you're not showing that much enthusiasm, and yet she is trying to make something happen. And obviously, from your action, she should be getting the clue that you're not that into her. Okay, she should be able to cotton on to the fact that you're not interested, but yet she still tries. And basically, the reason why she keeps on trying is because she doesn't respect herself very much. Okay, and it's the same, and that's how women view it as well. When a guy is chasing her down and it keeps on messaging her and she's kind of not really that into it, she will never respect that guy because he doesn't respect himself. Now, there is also something, though, which is just showing interest. Okay? Because you've got to show intent. If you like a woman, then more than likely you're probably going to have to put your foot in the door and ask her out on a date. That is showing interest. Okay? And that's something that you're probably going to have to do for a long time with women, unless you meet a woman who's like really, really super into you, and also she just happens to have a personality trait where she's extroverted. Most women you're going to come into contact with are not going to be that bold. Okay, most women that you're going to come into contact with that like you, that are interested in you, are probably not going to say too much about it, and they're going to wait for you to make the first move. Okay, and that's what showing interest is. It's just simply making the first move. And you just simply do that by asking her out on a date. You just say, if you like a woman and you think that she's beautiful, you'd really like to get to know her better, you go up to her in some shape or form, whether it's you physically go up to her or you talk to her via messenger or something like that, and you say, I'd like to get to know you better. When are you free? Okay? And that is you showing interest, okay? You don't need to elaborate. You don't need to say, I really like you, or anything else like to that effect. You don't have to elaborate. The simple fact that you said that you are, you want to see her and you want to know when she's available, lets the woman know that you want to take her out on a date. It's not that subtle, okay? You may be thinking, yeah, but if I don't elaborate, she's not going to really know. Maybe she's going to think it's a friendship thing. No, if you are asking her directly to, asking her when she's free because you want to get to know her better, she knows that it's because you are interested in her. Okay, so you never need to elaborate. And people that chase, guys that chase, and women that chase too, they love to elaborate because they think that, oh, he just doesn't get it, or oh, she just doesn't get it, she just doesn't know that I'm interested, so I better tell her that I really, really like her. I better write her a letter or write her a long thing about how she makes me feel, because obviously she doesn't know. She knows. Trust me, she knows. You do not need to elaborate. So the only thing you do need to do, okay, is to show interest by just simply asking her out, okay? So women don't respect men who chase them in this sort of like obsessive way, but they do respect men who just simply show interest. And if she says, no, thank you, those guys move on with their lives. They don't keep on, okay, I'll give her a week and then I'll have another run at her. No, if she says no in some shape or form, he's done. He's like, okay, fine, that's fair enough. And he moves on to the next woman who, his next, object of desire, shall we say. Okay, so one of the best things then that you need to work on then, if you feel like you've struggled with chasing women in the past and coming off quite needy and insecure, the best thing for you to do is to develop self-respect, because that's the main core issue usually with these kinds of issues, where you really, really like a woman and you like her so much, even though you can kind of tell she's not really that into you, but you keep on trying anyway. And it's all about you trying to put yourself in a place where you're not wanted, okay? And there's the whole, kettle of fish as to why you might be doing that. Personally, for me, looking back on my own life, when I used to behave in those ways when I was single, especially when I was a teenager and in my early 20s, it was because I grew up in a household where I felt really insecure, and I was made to feel really insecure, and there's basically the self-esteem was just blown out of my system, basically. I actually remember feeling quite a lot of self-esteem when I was very, very young. And then that was just, I had an older sibling that basically just took the wind out of my sails, okay? A much older sibling who was 9 years older than me, who really should have known better at that age, okay? Because when this kind of stuff started happening, I was a toddler, so that means they were like an early teenager. And thinking back on myself and how I would have behaved as an early teenager, if I had a sibling that was 9 years younger than me, I would have took on a caring parental role, I feel. Not I'm going to make this child's life hell. Yeah, so, but, I in saying that, I do know that particular sibling of mine did have a lot of trouble growing up. We didn't share the same father, so his father was out of the picture. And also, he was bullied a lot at school. And I'm pretty sure he's undiagnosed, but I'm pretty sure he's on the autistic spectrum somewhere. Does that excuse their behavior? Of course not. But I can see why, as an adult, looking back, why those things may have happened. But this is one of those things that a lot of people go through, either it's for a sibling or it's for a parent or grandparent, but someone in our direct lives, if you have low self-esteem and you feel unworthy, right, and you're trying to force yourself into people's lives that don't want you, like certain women who are showing low interest, it's usually because of a low self-esteem issue that you've been struggling with for a long time, okay? So the way that I personally helped myself was through gaining self-respect, okay? I didn't really go for any kind of therapy or anything like that. I built my own self-respect, and I realized that I got to a stage where I realized that I'm not going to bother putting my attention on women who are just no longer showing interest in me. So there were a bunch of things that I did. So one of the things that I did was I didn't procrastinate anymore on things. Of course, it's not like it went zero out of me, but sometimes I still procrastinate even now. But the majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, if there's something that I need to do, I do it. Taking care of myself was another thing. I didn't really do that when I was a teenager and when I was in my early 20s. I didn't really take care of myself very much. I would get blackout drunk, do crazy stuff. And I decided that I can no longer do that anymore because of how it made me feel afterwards. And I can't act like this anymore. I can't do this to my body. I can't do this to myself. So I'm just not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to take care of myself as if I'm someone of value, okay? And when you start to treat yourself as if you are someone of value, okay, that's when other people see you as more valuable too. Okay, so it's not about gaining women's respect, it's about gaining respect for yourself, because once you have a healthy respect for yourself, other people then begin to respect you. Okay, it's not like, oh, I'm going to feel better when other people respect me. No, you've got to build it up within you to begin with, and then the outside begins to mirror the inside. Okay, so do women respect men who chase them? No, they do not. Okay, especially if the way that you're chasing is very needy, very insecure, and you're in her DMs 24/7. Okay, but you can easily show interest in women by asking them out in a very simple, direct way. Like, hey, I'd love to get to know you better. When are you free? Women know exactly what that means. Okay, so you don't need to elaborate. And that's the best way that you can do that. And if a woman is basically saying anything other than hell yes, I would love to go and hang out with you, then you are not going to be involved with her. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. On there, in the coaching as well, you can also get my new course. It's about 40 minutes long, but it's not necessary for you to do though, because you can also go to www.christineloveridge.com and read and coach yourself completely for free by reading Attracting the Beautiful Woman of Your Dreams. All you have to do is go to the website www.christineloveridge.com, link in the description, go to the menu on the page, then click on the book, and it'll take you straight there to the PDF reader. You don't have to log into the website, you don't have to sign up for anything. It's there for you to read completely for free. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.